Yes, good morning, Ian. We got here eventually, thanks to various people on the mic and also behind the mic who've helped me to get here on time today. But Matt Murray, you've spoken about Hull City, Stoke City. You look at this stadium, it's still Premier League. Many of the fans, though, can hardly believe they were in the Premier League. It feels a long time ago now.
It does feel a long time ago, and that's a big warning to the likes of Leicester and Southampton who come down. It is very, very difficult to get out of this league, and not only what we're seeing here, but if you go to Stoke City's training ground, again, the infrastructure there, they pay the wages, they've got a manager who's had taken teams to the Premier League and managing the Premier League. So yeah, it does at the moment. They've not been anywhere near the playoffs. That's the bit that's scary when you read through the stats, and it's been really, really difficult to change that. I think it's a problem with the culture in this club at the moment with some of the players. So look, massive fan base, really, really good club, great setup. But yeah, as much as you can say, yes, it's Premier League setup, what they've been delivering on the pitch has not got them anywhere near it. So if they're going to get up this season or be in and around it, they need to start with performances like this afternoon and get into this whole side and start delivering. And at the moment, yes, they'd want a performance and a result, but the main thing is they've got to go and get the result and start winning.
A reminder of the two teams again. One change for Stoke, it's in force. Ben Pearson is suspended, so Jordan Thompson comes back into the side. It's Mark Travers in goal, Luke McNally, Michael Rose and Ben Wilmot the back three. Lyndon Gooch and Daniel Johnson will be the wing backs. Jordan Thompson holding in midfield behind Josh Lawrence and Wouter Berger, with Tyrese Campbell and Sead Haksabanovic in attack. Three changes for Hull City. Of course, they've had a rush of draws recently. Louis Coyle is not involved at all. Scott Twine and the former Stoke player Liam Delap drop to the bench. The players who come in, Tyler Morton, Adama Traore and Ruben Vinagre. Their team is Ryan Alsop in goal, Alfie Jones and Jacob Grieve, the heart of their defence. Cyrus Christie and Ruben Vinagre complete the back four. Tyler Morton and John Michael Seri holding in midfield. Adama Traore, Regan Slater and Jayden Philogene behind Aaron Connolly in attack. And it's a grey, blustery day here in the Potteries. On the side of the Times for Stoke City, there are a number of empty red seats all around this stadium. But it's the Championship once again on the home of the EFL. And it's a big game in many ways for both teams. Hull City looking to close in on the early season pace setters. Stoke City looking to try and find some form after what's been yet another slow start. And they're in their famous red and white stripes, defending the goal away to our left-hand side. Wilmot plays it wide to the far side, and Johnson, recent signing from Preston, who scored his first goal in the 2-2 draw against Huddersfield on Wednesday night. Johnson with a ball forward, looking for Tyrese Campbell, but it skips beyond him, and it's gathered by Ryan Alsop, who made a very impressive debut for Hull City in the 0-0 draw against Leeds on Wednesday.
Yeah, greasy surface, so any balls have to be right. But Ryan Alsop, I thought he was excellent against Hull. Just getting his season started, obviously disappointed to leave Cardiff, but his distribution is why he's in the team. It's going to be interesting. Both teams already looking to build from the back, keep the ball down.
And Alsop coming outside his penalty area to clear. He was closed down there by Tyrese Campbell, and eventually, although the clearance wasn't the best, he managed to get the distance, and the ball eventually rebounds into the Stoke City technical area in front of us, and Alex Neil just fields the ball. Pressure is an overused word in football, but we always use it, Matt. How much pressure is Alex Neil under?
Yeah, we say that, but I think these are the times we live in. So if you get backed in a window and you get players and then you don't win, then yeah, you will be under pressure. And look at this, the whole city.
Hull tried to play out from the back. Alsop played the ball across his own 6-yard area. There was nobody there at all. It was gathered by Alfie Jones, who was off balance. And those Hull City fans gathered behind the goal away to our right were having kittens.
They were. So we talk about pressure. Wow. Certainly inviting a bit of pressure, this whole team, and building from the back. So we talk about the times changing, that you lose 3 or 4, you're under pressure as a manager. The way these teams build from the back is wow. It's the game has evolved so much.
But that's what the manager wants, and we've seen it on a number of occasions this season, particularly in the Championship, where maybe the technical quality is not quite as high, that teams who try and play out from the back have caused themselves no end of problems.
I think as well, Nigel, when you've been under a manager who doesn't ask you to do it as much, and then suddenly you are asked to do it, and these managers aren't given that much time, when you want to totally change the style as well, it's not easy.
2.5 minutes played here at the Bet365 Stadium. It is Stoke City 0, Hull City 0 in the Championship on the home of the EFL. TalkSport 2, as Hull in all amber today, looking to attack on this near side. But in the end, they are forced back deep inside their own territory, and they almost give the ball away again, but it's an opportunity for them to try and play the ball out. It's a very good playing surface here at the Bet365, and they're using it now. Cyrus Christie looks to play a 1-2 with Connolly on the edge of the penalty area. The ball is squeezed in field. Laurent, the captain, will go back into his own penalty area for Stoke, and it's cleared away on this near side by Lyndon Gooch. He gets a second bite at the cherry as Hull briefly win the ball back, and then it's fielded high above his head by Liam Rossigna inside the Hull technical area, and they will have a throw in on this near side, which Ruben Vinagre will take, now on loan from Sporting Lisbon. And it's back towards Jacob Greaves. His clearance was closed down by Haksabanovic, and now Stoke City will try and build on the far side, but Johnson saw the route to goal cut off, so he goes back to Wilmot, and now Johnson again. And Hull City are finding it difficult to find a way in behind at the moment. As Stoke come forward again on this near side, the cross into the near post from Lyndon Gooch is charged down by Vinagre, and it will be the game's first corner with 4 minutes played.
Yeah, good play from Stoke there. Vinagre provided, so got out there, got the block in, but yeah, good play from Stoke, trying to get the ball in. But again, Johnson's deliveries are always going to be good. Alex Neil knows him well from Preston, but you imagine set pieces are going to be really, really important. So this sort of semi-zonal here. Hull got the big headers of the ball lined up along the 6, and then everybody else has got to stay with a man. So first real opportunity of the game.
Johnson will take it on this near side, in towards the near post, aim for Haksabanovic, who tries to give it the eyebrows with that peroxide wash, but in the end he's beaten to it by Christie, and it will be another corner kick for Hull on this near side there right. Haksabanovic, the Montenegrin international, on loan from Celtic, made his first start against Huddersfield the other night. Well, Johnson this time will go in towards that near post, and again it doesn't go beyond the near post. A stooping Cyrus Christie will head the ball away, and Jordan Thompson will go all the way back to Mark Travers, the Republic of Ireland international, defending the Stoke goal away to our left.
Is that called commentator's curse? Me saying that he put a good ball in, Johnson, and both of them didn't miss the front man, did they? They were really, really poor. But I think there's a few players here that need to really get going in. So Mark Travers, I thought he was excellent in Bournemouth's promotion season, didn't get much of a run in the Premier League last season, so it's important for him to do well for Stoke. Vinagre, another one you've mentioned on him there, didn't play at Everton, out on loan. So there's a lot of players that that played in the Premier League that want to show that they're above Championship level and need to, kick-start their career. I think that's a fair way of saying it.
And there are so many players in this Stoke squad, and there have been since they came down in 2018, and you look at it and think, they're at Stoke now. God, they're a good player. And they've had hundreds of the midfields, and whatever blend they have, it's not been a winning blend. There's Allsop with a hurry clearance on this near side, but it's smashed by Vinagre against Haksabanovic, and it will be a throw-in for Hull.
Yeah, again, Stoke are obviously, the instructions are every time the ball goes back to Ryan Allsop, they're going to press him because they know that he's going to take risks on the ball. He's going to try and look for angles, and every other time he's been able to play the ball with really good detail, safe side, and play out there. The options weren't there, and good pressing from Stoke, really good tactics, and I think they do believe that they can catch Hull and maybe get a great opportunity.
It's headed up in the air on this near side by Rose, and some head tennis either side of the halfway line. Johnson tries to knock it forward, and then eventually it almost breaks to Tyrese Campbell, but coming across from the right to make the challenge was Cyrus Christie, and he balloons the ball behind the goal on this near side, and it will be a third Stoke City corner in the opening stages.
Maybe third time lucky for Johnson. He's going to miss that front man. Oh, or is he being taken off it this time? But again, good covering there. I thought Campbell did really well, like just to back in and bump the defender, and then good covering from Cyrus Christie. I think all in all, Stoke will probably feel they've made slightly the better start forcing these corners, but obviously no keeper's been seriously tested yet.
Haksabanovic will take the corner kick on this near side. And again, it's in towards that near post area, looking for the run of Michael Rose, but had he got there, he would have had very little opportunity to do anything with the ball, and in the end it's sent behind at the near post by Tyler Morton, and it will be a fourth corner for Stoke in the opening 8 minutes. 0-0 here on TalkSport 2 at the Bet365 Stadium. And will this corner go beyond the near post? It does. It's a deeper one. It's a good delivery, headed up in the air by Alfie Jones, and it will eventually be a throw into Stoke City on this near side. It's back towards Thompson, and Thompson now receives it back from Lyndon Gooch, and Gooch, the American sign from Sunderland, finds Laurent forward to a stretching Wouter Berger, who does well to keep the ball in play, tries to find Haksabanovic, but it's hacked clear by Vinagre, and it will be a Stoke City throw-in on this near side. And there is a Stoke City player down, and it's Tyrese Campbell on the edge of the penalty area.
He's feeling his hamstring. You know when we just said there about him backing in and he bumped the defender? I'm not sure if was it Greaves or but he backed into him and then just felt, sometimes that when they brace, and you could just see he just moved gingerly afterwards, and I know he still went after the ball, but then he's just not been moving quite right now. They've been struggling for goals, Stoke. And I was at the game where Campbell, years ago, he did his knee over on the far side from where we are now, and you just hope he can stay fit, because he's a very, very talented player. His dad was top draw, but it just looks
Kevin Campbell.
Kevin Campbell was a top player at Everton and Arsenal, but it just looks concerning, and this will be a real big blow to Stoke. Imagine, would it be Dwight Gale or someone who maybe come on for him? But as I say, it just looks like he's feeling that right hamstring when he backed in.
Well, they are making a change, and it looks like Dwight Gale will be coming on. He's 33 now, Dwight Gale. I still think of him as a young player.
At Peterborough, was it? Is that where he came? He went from Dagenham or something. He went to Peterborough.
He came into non-league.
Yeah.
Then he had obviously a very good goal-scoring spell.
Yeah.
Went to West Brom a few years ago on loan from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Scored goals there.
Scored goals. Yeah. So again, another fantastic player who knows where the back of the net is. So shows the strength in depth that this Stoke squad have got. But 33 now, so he's in the twilight of his career, maybe.
It looks like he'll be coming on very soon. He's just getting some words of instruction beneath us, and Campbell is trying to run it off, and you really hope this isn't a long-term problem or a longer-term problem for Tyrese Campbell, because he's never quite been the same player since that knee injury.
And it was a serious one, and it was so innocuous as well. Just again, it was one where he braced, and just as he landed, he got shoved off the ball. And in that game, I think it might have been against Barnsley, he was absolutely running the show. So hopefully it's not as bad, because I remember him bursting on the scene at Shrewsbury on loan and scoring goals. So you don't want to see any players have injuries.
Hull looking to build now. It would be their first attack. Campbell is back there defending, and he gets there before Seri. Maybe ran the ball behind for a corner, but nothing was given by the assistant, who was well placed. But here is Christie again on the far side, and he's got support from Seri again, who can bring the ball in field. And now Philogene gathers for Hull, but he just dallies in possession, and the challenge comes in from Campbell.
I think Campbell just signalled to the bench and did that, your hands when you roll them round your fingers to say, I need to come off.
And in the end, they've decided not to bring Dwight Gale on, because it's going to be Andre Vidigal, who is the top goal scorer here so far this season. Scored 3 goals in the early stages, all here at home. And it's Tyrese Campbell who will be coming off.
the manager won't, it's disruptive, but you can't risk a player. He's not right. You could see he's not right. He's tried to stay on, but it's up to Vidigal now just to say he knows where the back of the net is and to take that opportunity. But it is disruptive. It's disruptive to the team to lose a player. And all in all, Stoke have been the ones that had more possession, more territory, forced the corners. And Alex Neil's thinking, how's my luck, forced into an early change again?
Well, Vidigal has been a regular goal scorer, signed from Maritimo. And I say a regular goal scorer, it's all relative, a regular goal scorer in a team which aren't scoring goals. As a Traore is penalised for the challenge on Berger on the halfway line. It will be a free kick for Stoke City. Only 7 in 7 games so far this season for Stoke. 2 wins, 1 draw and 4 defeats. And it's 3 goals in their last 6 games. Remarkably, they've scored 15 goals in all competitions. 10 of those have come in 2 games against Rotherham.
Crazy. They want to play Rotherham every week, won't they?
It's either Rotherham or Cheltenham, the team you want to play every week at the moment.
Again, you feel, and that's where you talk again about time and Wade Elliott losing his job, but such a difficult job there at Cheltenham. They lost the likes of Mickey Moore, then he lost who's the director of football, then loses his coach as well, so it's so hard. But if you've got to score goals, as much as we were talking about Cheltenham conceding, they haven't scored a goal all season, and that's been Stoke's problem. They need to start finding the back of the net.
And whoever goes into Cheltenham on a full-time basis, Kevin Russell is there at the moment. It would be a massive surprise if they suddenly started winning consistently, as Aaron Connolly has been upended on this near side, and it will be a free kick with 14 minutes played here on TalkSport 2, and it's 0-0 between Stoke and Hull. And a free kick which Tyler Morton is looking to take on this near side. And it's drifted high towards the far post, nodded away though by Wilmot, and fired towards goal by Seri, but he never really got hold of it. It was Philogene in the end who got the final touch, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I thought Stoke held a really good line there, and they held it right to the last step of Morton, approaching the ball, and got a good head on it. And then obviously, it was well wide with the strike from the edge of the box. But as much as Stoke have had more of the ball, got into the areas, neither team at all has looked really like scoring, have they?
No, it's been a fairly tepid start to the game so far, but conditions aren't great. We can see the 5 red and white flags on top of the stand on the far side, being ruffled considerably by the wind, and when the wind blows here, it really does blow. We're fairly exposed on the outskirts of Stoke city centre. And both teams are looking to try and get the ball down and play. Hull starting this game 6th in the table, and with a victory they would move up to 4th, but there's a bit of a gap developing between the top 3, Leicester, Ipswich and Preston. Preston on 20 points, 7 points clear of Sunderland, who are currently 4th, although they do have a game in hand. And you have to go all the way down to 17th to see where Stoke City are. And Stoke at the moment are just above the relegation zone, and they had another real overhaul this season. 18 arrivals from 13 different nationalities, and it will always take time to gel, but often in the Championship we don't get that time. And there's a mistake by Rose at the near post, a complete miss kick, and it almost fell for Connolly. In the end it does fall for Philogene on the edge of the penalty area, but he blazes the ball too high.
Yeah, lucky escape there, and that's it. Greasy conditions, and the ball's whipped in there from the right, and for all you being in control and all your good work, and then suddenly you can just miss kick. Was it Michael Rose there? It sort of just went through him and didn't quite land to Connolly. Connolly, the form he's in as well, he'd have backed himself. And I feel that Rossini's relationship with Connolly from his Brighton days is really, really helping him. And at the moment, Connolly's had very little service, but that nearly did drop to him.
Now Greaves under pressure from Vidigal on this near side. Plays it all the way back to Vinagre, and now Greaves again in a rather tight spot, but Vinagre makes the challenge, and it will be a throw-in for Hull City on this near side. And the applause you heard a few moments ago was for a Stoke City fan, Rafe Smith, who was a good young player, Stoke City supporter who died recently at the age of just 14, and the Stoke City crowd here, and the Hull supporters as well, all rose to remember him, which was really nice to hear. As a long ball is played forward for Stoke again, and on this sort of day, balls like that are never really going to find the target.
Not at all. So windy, the surface is greasy. You've got to keep the ball like down on 5 feet, or play just in front of people. And yeah, ball was far too pacey, far too straight, and forced really, and straight through to Ryan Allsop.
And now it's been given away very cheaply by Stoke, and Hull are looking to come forward. It's Philogene on the far side, found by Slater. Traore in support. Philogene delivers the cross into the near post. This time Rose is able to clear. Morton challenged by Haksabanovic. The ball loops high into the air and goes out on the far side, but the flag was raised for offside against Philogene, just in front of the assistant, and it will be a free kick for Stoke City with 18 minutes played on TalkSport 2, and it's still Stoke City 0, Hull City 0. Don't forget, coming up at 1:30 on TalkSport, the Sunday session with Sam Matterface. All the goals as they go in from the Premier League. The North London derby at 2 o'clock. Also Chelsea against Villa, Liverpool against West Ham, and Brighton against Bournemouth. Sheffield United against Newcastle is the late game, and there's more Championship football coming up here at 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2. Sunderland against Cardiff with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern, and tomorrow we have Coventry against Huddersfield. Darren Moore, of course, now in charge at Huddersfield following Neil Warnock's departure, and they're at the CBS Arena with Ian Danter and David Nugent watching for TalkSport 2. And of course Neil Warnock will now be waiting until February. Somebody will need him, and he'll come in and save them and
do what he does. And let's be honest,
life carries on.
It was an amazing job that he did do at Huddersfield.
Absolutely. Stoke looking to build on the far side. They have another player down injured just inside the Hull half as the cross towards Vidigal is partially cleared. Slater leaps to nod the ball further away, but Stoke have it back with McNally, but McNally has been challenged by Connolly. Connolly will now chase the ball forward, but he's lost out to Gooch. A clever turn from the American. And now it's infield from McNally to find Lawrence, and Berger on the edge of the penalty area. Vidigal fighting Johnson, left foot shot from him, it's dragged wide. It was the best moment of the game so far by some distance. Really good approach play from Stoke, but it just lacked the finish from Daniel Johnson.
Yeah, I think for a player of Daniel Johnson's quality, that is, he'd be expecting to hit the target. I thought it was good play from Stoke, good. Connolly tracked back, but Stoke just didn't let him out, and then they kept it alive, and they're dropping to Johnson the edge of the box. He's just scuffed it, he's pulled it across, and Allsop was always confident that was going wide, but that's a half chance for sure. He should be hitting the target from there.
Daniel Johnson, the Jamaican international who was at Preston for many years, as Vinagre with a purposeful run forward here for Hull City down the centre. He was crunched into by Thompson, went down writhing in agony, but quickly got up when he realised that there wasn't a free kick given, and there's an opportunity for Hull City to build again here. And they've not really offered too much so far, a team on a 6-match unbeaten run. They lost at Norwich on the opening day, but since then they've beaten Sheffield Wednesday, Blackburn and Leicester, and they've drawn 3 successive home games, including that goalless draw against Leeds on Wednesday night when they failed to have a shot on target. But now they have a free kick in a promising area because Thompson has got into the back of Tyler Morton, and it's 25 yards out, right of centre.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position, definite foul. Morton brought down, and this is really, it'd be interesting because of the distance, the angle that they would, and with the big boys coming up, are they going to try and fire it in for one of the big centre backs, Greaves, or to try and get his head on? or are they going to fire it at goal? Really, it's a hard one for a goalkeeper, and because you have to line your wall up thinking I've got to protect the goal, but at the same time that space with Stoke holding this high line, if they can put that ball in, I think it's going to be a cross, but it's certainly a dangerous position, probably a few yards too far out for a shot.
And Tyler Morton, who we saw for Blackburn last season on loan from Liverpool, put in some really good deliveries.
Yeah.
And he does have plenty of height to target here. Jones and Greaves are both forward, and it's flighted high towards the far post, and in the end, well, it was a battle between the two number 5s. Jones had hold of Rose's shirt. He was almost pulling the shirt off his back, but in the end Rose heads the ball behind, and Thomas Bramwell, our referee, has given a corner kick.
Yeah, I thought Jones had a big part of Rose's shirt, but...
Well, he did.
He could see it pulled out, couldn't you? But I think in these... in those moments, because he didn't go to ground, but I thought Rose did really, really well to keep his eye on it, head it round. This is Hull's first corner, is it? And let's see how they work it.
It's played short to Philogene, and back out towards the edge of the penalty area, and Seri lobbed back in towards Philogene, and it was a difficult ball for him to attack over his shoulder, dropping into his path, and he tried to hook the ball across the face of goal, missed it entirely, and it's gone behind for a goal kick with 23 minutes played on TalkSport 2, and it's Stoke City 0, Hull City 0.
Yeah, quite clever, and I think they thought, looking again, if they put that ball into the mix, who's going to be favourites to get first contact on it? So tried to work a short one, and Philogene at Cardiff last season, I really liked him, ex-Aston Villa, good player, and he's not had as much service, but that was well worked, but he's just half a yard from just connecting with that.
And he's another young player that Liam Rosenior has given responsibility to, as Haksabanovic is penalised inside the centre circle for clipping the heels of Seri, and it will be a free kick. And Hull City were not in great shape when Rosenior arrived in November last season. Of course, he was part of the Hull team which was promoted to the Premier League, also played in the FA Cup final, and briefly during their one European campaign during the club's history so far. And they've been draw specialists under Rosenior. 11 wins, 17 draws and only 9 losses. But this season has been a really good start for them, as Haksabanovic almost robs Greaves on the edge of the penalty area. Now Johnson comes forward for Stoke, tries to find Vidigal into the area down the left, but it was a poor ball forward overhit, straight out of play for a goal kick.
I think both teams have been guilty of that final ball, because there was a time earlier in the first half where Slater got the ball, and then he played the ball out to Philogene on the right, and he was slightly behind him, and it sort of slowed down the pace of the attack. There again, in a good position, good regain, good transition, then the ball's overhit, and they're passes at these players at this level. If you're wanting to get out of the Championship, you should be playing those balls with the right details. So I think both teams have been guilty of it. Interesting there again to see Ryan Allsop gets the ball. They're built from the back there, Hull. This time he's gone really, really long and not wanted to take any chances, because I feel Stoke are set up and pressing really well and setting good traps.
And since they went down after a decade in the Premier League, they finished in the Championship, and they spent a lot of money. Peter Coates has always backed his managers. 16th, 15th, 14th, 14th and 16th.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
And miles off the playoffs. It's just like, it's crazy. But
they've never looked like challenging once.
Not once, no. And they've had some really, really big issues, and there's some big names, coming in, or big wages paid of these Premier League players that have come down, who had no intention of ever playing in the Championship or trying to get the team out of it. But it is very, very difficult when you come down. Obviously, Hull are a different sort of model. But I think Stoke fans have got a reason to probably be quite disappointed, disgruntled with what they've seen.
Well, there's no doubt that Hull have reconnected with the fan base. They were getting some very low crowds when the discontent with the previous owner, AC Milan, was at its height, and there were various protests, the tennis balls being thrown onto the pitch and that sort of thing. But Acun Ocela, the Turkish media mogul, has really lifted the mood, as Connolly comes forward now on this near side, the left, and he's quickly challenged by Rose, and Rose won the ball. Aaron Connolly is the only Hull City player on the field so far today who has scored a goal this season. As a quickly taken free kick for Stoke has released Haksabanovic. The ball across the penalty area is behind Wouter Berger, who was completely unmarked. Here is Berger now down the left. The cross is deflected off Christie and nodded behind by Seri towards his goalkeeper, and it's claimed by Allsop. And again, it was sloppy from both teams.
Yeah, it was, but Haksabanovic ends up through, quickly taken free kick. I just think there, you're in the box, 14, 16 yards? I know you're a bit of an angle, but bang, hard and low on this greasy surface. I think you should be shooting there. They're really doing that. Stoke have struggled to score goals, but I think when you don't take a chance to shoot there, but then when you don't shoot, the pass was poor behind his teammate.
Allsop trying to play out with Greaves, and in the end they eventually get the ball up to the halfway line, but with a degree of discomfort. Here is Vinagre finding Slater. He's got room to turn. Philogene and Traore in all sorts of space away to the right. Now Morton back to Seri, who is the anchor man in midfield, and Traore gathers now, and the steam from that potential breakaway is now dissipated for Hull City, but they do have possession and they've looked better on the ball so far when they've had it. Here is Seri again, turning away from Berger. Johnson with a challenge on Christie, and Stoke have won the ball back. Now Laurent finding Johnson again, and the home crowd appreciating the industry as Stoke have won the ball back on a number of occasions. Haksabanovic now with the opportunity to play it forward, but it's behind Vidigal and it's given away again. Now Slater for Hull. 28.5 minutes played on TalkSport 2. 0-0 on a grey, blustery day, very autumnal here at the Bet365 Stadium, as Morton brings it forward now for Hull. Slater wide to this near side, and Vinagre, always a fullback who loves to get forward, almost goes beyond Gooch, then checks back, needs support, has it from Slater inside the penalty area, but in the end Vinagre tries to go himself, and he had hold of Gooch's shirt as Berger plays it back towards his goalkeeper, and Berger was limping there for a second as he played the ball back towards Travers. And I think Berger's got a problem as well. He's talking to the referee and he's almost down on his haunches in the midfield.
Yeah, so again, Alex Neil will not be wanting that. But you've said it a few times again, like Hall went forward, Slater got on the ball, and then when you do counter-attacking drills in training, the words are nothing to slow it down, nothing to slow it down. As you say, it just takes the pace out of the attack with certain passes.
But here's a chase into the penalty area now from Philogene. Balls back to Connolly, and Connolly has scored. Aaron Connolly, the only player in the Hull City starting lineup with a league goal this season, has added to his tally. Stoke City caught out by the long ball. Philogene showed great pace, and although the ball back to Connolly was scuffed and the finish was scuffed, it was strong enough to bobble into the back of the net, and it's Stoke City 0, Hull City 1.
And that is what I was just going to allude to. The amount of times Connolly was in a position before, they turned down the pass to just play that ball into the space and then played the extra pass. There was a time when Slater got the ball, you called it, overload on the right hand side. Again, they didn't play the pass, slowed it down. And this time, Philogene's made really, really good movement. He's gone short to go long. They've recognised the passing behind. He's showed excellent strength, but not only the strength to then get in, he's under pressure from the defender, but he still has the composure to get his head up, slow it down, and then the way to pass back to Connolly, who's in a great position. And it's a little bit of misfortune, isn't it, from a Stoke point of view, fortune for Hull, because it goes through the legs, I think, is it Rose, and that sort of bobbles into the back of the net. You don't care how it goes in, but really, really good goal from Hull, and that's their first proper opportunity.
Well, it was a real miss-kick from Connolly. Without the deflection, it wouldn't have gone in, because there was another Hull City defender, or Stoke City defender, there on the goal line, but he was caught out by the deflection. It bobbled between Rose's legs, hit his heel, and then crept into the back of the net.
Yeah, but
that's the sort of goal that sums up Stoke City's season.
It does, and they take one of them, but that's what happens. You get bodies in the box and good finish from, good positioning, but say scruffy finish, we won't care.
Connolly coming forward again now, down the left-hand side, cuts in field, right foot shot, again it's scuffed, but it comes to Traore, and Traore with a brilliant goal, low into the back of the net, and the boos ring around the Bet365 Stadium. The Stoke City supporters have seen their team come out, and they are surrendering limply to Hull City here. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Adama Traore with his first of the season. And Stoke City must be wondering what is happening here. And for their fans, the Premier League must seem further away than ever. 2-0 to Hull.
Yeah, and listen to those Hull fans travelling early, getting down here early, and midday on a Sunday. And Liam Rossini again will be very, very happy with this. Starts with his goalkeeper. There's a hint, is there, of offside with Connolly? Because I'd like to see the lines drawn in on the ball that he picks up. But he's got so much work to do. He's out on the left. Why have they not engaged him earlier? Once you let a player drive into the box, you got problems. Connolly drives in. He hits a shot. Again, he talk about things are not going for Stoke at the moment, because it's a shot from Connolly, drops to Traore, but wow, he doesn't, I call this like goal geography. He knows where he is in the box with the markings, doesn't even look up, swivels hard and low. Travers, top goalkeeper, he stands no chance. And we always thought, how would these Stoke fans be? It can be intimidating when you come here as the away side, but when things aren't going for you and the away side start well, then it can make these turn on their fans. And wow,
listen to the boos again as Stoke give the ball away. Slater now, wide to Traore, back towards Slater, thought about the shot, he's challenged on the edge of the box by Lawrence, but it comes through towards Philogene, but a free kick's been given to Stoke in the end, and the Stoke fans here have turned.
They have turned, and it's been 2 sucker punches, because but there's moments like when
they're making a change already. Yeah, Wesley's coming on,
and I'm not surprised, because they've got to do something, because suddenly from pressing well, Hull are building ease, but I look at moments like Haksabanovic when he went through and he passed it behind instead of shooting, or things like that. You're thinking, take a shot, because if you do take a shot, it might come off the keeper and someone taps in the rebound. They look devoid of confidence, Stoke.
But the atmosphere here inside the Bet365 now among the home supporters is as flat as my front left tyre was early on.
You mentioned it. I'm glad you can smile about it. By the way, you missed a full English as well.
I know. I saw that as I raced through the press room at 5 to 12. Anyway, we've got a game on here, and we've got a story developing as well, because Stoke have given the ball away again, and here is Philogene, wide towards Connolly on the right-hand side, pulls it back, and it's blocked at the near post by Wilmot, and he turns and he just hammers the ball away, and Benagra just steps up, so Vidigal is offside, and it will be a free kick to Hull. And this is the change. Wouter Berger, who we did see pull up a few moments earlier, he's gone off, and Wesley is coming on, another former Premier League player.
Went to Aston Villa, didn't he, for big money? Did he have the injury at Burnley?
Club Brugge.
Yeah, injury against Burnley, was it?
Yeah, on New Year's Day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when he was playing well, and Villa were having a good spell in that first season. Connolly's also limping now for Hull on the far side. He scored one, and well, he would claim an assist, but it was his shot which bobbled into the path of Traore. But
he looks like a player with confidence. He's getting the ball, he's direct, and he's been scoring goals this season. And when you're in that vein of form, like the fortune he got for the first goal, it bobbles through the legs, but that's what happens when you get in the positions. You're not afraid to shoot, and he's got a manager who believes in him, and it's his best goal scoring season already.
5 goals for him, and Hull came into this game with only 3 goal scorers this season, and Tufan and Jalap are on the bench as Wesley has been fouled by Greaves as he looks to chase a long ball forward. Wesley was on loan at Levante in Spain from Aston Villa last season. Of course, he's been surplus to requirements for some time. Of course, during that long injury layoff, things moved on, other players came in. But 36 minutes played here at the Bet365. It is Stoke City 0, Hull City 2. And Wesley looking to turn on the edge of the penalty area, finds Haksabanovic. He hits the byline, drives it in low towards Wesley, but it's a clearance from Greaves, and it's scrambled clear. But now Gooch again for Stoke on this near side, finding Vidigal. And a back heel from him, asking a lot of Gooch, and Gooch in the end fouls Vinagre, and it will be a free kick.
Foul all day. Good, clever play from Vinagre. He's got there, put his body in the way, and he's felt the contact in the back, and now Hull will just take their time. Allsop will, just walk over, and I just can't see at the moment, like with this Stoke team, where the goals are going to come from. Even when they got there, it was well defended by Hull, but they just look so lacking in confidence. And you really feel for these fans, because you say they've made the signings, they've done the stuff, everything's here, but it's just not happening at the moment. But if they do get a goal, then maybe, I'm sure they get right back behind them. But at the moment, that first goal just literally knocked the stuffing out of their team.
Well, it's ancient history now, but they moved Tony Pulis on to try and get to that next level, and this is where they are. But they do have a free kick now. Wesley, the player who was fouled, and he's getting involved with Alfie Jones on the edge of the penalty area, and a yellow card's been shown to Jones. And Stoke have a free kick, and they need a break. They need something to happen here. 2-0 down to a Hull City side who have not won 3 successive away games since April of 2013.
Well, it looks like he's shaping up to shoot here. Is it Vidigal over the ball?
Yeah.
And right-footed. Johnson's over it as well. Also
Johnson with the left.
Yeah, so when you're in goal here, you always have to wait, because you don't know who's going to step up. But just the way that Vidigal's placed it, you think it's going to be him. Got to line the wall up, get it right, but they don't care if this takes a deflection or whatever and wrong foots the goalkeeper. But also you need to be strikers following it in. It's a greasy surface. It's not easy, the wind as well, everything else. But this is they've got to make this whole goalkeeper work at this moment, because he's not been tested at all this afternoon. It'll
be Johnson or Vidigal, and it's Vidigal who curls it low, and it Allsop makes a comfortable save.
Wow, it's one of them where you say, I'm already warm, I don't need warming up. That was a really tame. He's got it round the wall, but yeah, very comfortable save from Ryan Allsop. But is that their first shot on target? I can't think of another one.
Yeah, and it was a trundler. Now Johnson with a downward header, which falls straight to Traore. And Slater now breaking into the penalty area for Hull down the left-hand side. He chops back. The challenge comes in from Gooch, and the goal kick's been given in the end. The final touch was off Slater. But Stoke are wide open every time Hull hit that long ball wide to the right-hand side.
Yeah, and that's what it is, because they're so set up to press. And that's what Hull have started doing, is recognising the solutions. Is when Stoke are locked on, they know the out ball is bigger, it's a longer pass. And at the moment, every time Hull are going forward, you think they're going to score, or at least seriously test Travers. Yeah, they're very open, Stoke.
Now Gooch coming forward, a good ball into the penalty area for Vidigal, but it's just beyond him, and Christie will clear up to the halfway line. Philogene will now gather for Hull down their right. He's got 3 Stoke City players around him, but he comes away with the ball back to Christie, and in the end, on the stretch, all Michael Rose can do is just knock it straight out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Hull City. 5 minutes to play in the first half. Stoke 0, Hull 2, and we can see on our television monitors all the images at the moment are of Alex Neil. Yeah, and they're looking at him, and he'll be scratching his head thinking, we started off okay, and then a couple of sucker punches, but even there with Rose just kicked the ball out of play. He could have controlled that. Vinagre coming forward now for Hull on this near side. Gooch, though, is pacey, makes the challenge, but then his clearance is straight to Seri, who's got time on the ball again. Into Tyler Morton. Morton threads it into the area, almost found Philogene, but Johnson just got a toe in, and Haksabanovic will bring the ball away. Connolly's struggling here. Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's pulling up again, so they might have to make a change here. There is movement on the Hull bench beneath us. Delap would be the obvious change. He'll be desperate to get on. Now Gooch with a high ball into the penalty area. Headed away by Christie, only as far as Haksabanovic. A goal before half-time, and it's a very different game, and Stoke have to hold on to that with 3.5 minutes of normal time to play. Johnson with the cross into the penalty area. Headed away, though, by Greaves, rising above Wesley. And now Connolly will gather. Connolly's been caught there by Wilmot. and he's gone down, and I think he'll stay down. Yellow card for Ben Wilmot.
Yeah, so because Delap had the loan spell here, didn't really work for him, did he? Got sent back. Did he then go to Preston?
Yes,
and his dad got relieved of his duties as well. He's over with Robbie Keane in Maccabi Tel Aviv, and so I bet you Delap will be wanting to get on. Feel there's goals here for me, and you know what it's like when strikers go back to their former club. They're always desperate to prove a point.
Well, there's a massive picture of his dad downstairs when you walk through the media room here, of course, winding up one of those famous long throws.
When that throw,
you must have defended one or two of those.
Yeah, when you knew, because he was at Derby as well. I'm sure he was at Derby. Yeah, so as well, I can remember it then, and then there was a spell where it was a bit like anti-long throws, but they're all back in vogue again now. I'm telling you now, it was an unbelievable weapon. You worked
I
on
used
it.
to see as a Tranmere fan, Dave Challoner, from the halfway line into the 6-yard
played against
area.
his as well. His was a really flat one, so you didn't mind them as much. But in training, you worked on not clearing the ball anywhere between. You know what I mean? Before you didn't want to give corners away. Against the lap, you did not want to give a throw away that was anywhere 40 yards.
And it's winning the second ball on the edge of the box.
It's horrible.
Here is Johnson coming forward now. Vidigal pulling wide to the left. 2 minutes to play in the first half. The reaction here at half-time could be very interesting if it's still 2-0 to Hull. And on the home of the EFL, we are bringing you what could be a very significant day in the Championship. Sunderland looking to close the gap on the top three as well. They're at home to Cardiff at 3. Commentary for Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern.
So Alex Neil's former club, Sunderland?
Yeah, he left Sunderland to come here. And they got in the playoffs with Tony Mowbray.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they'd swap Tony Mowbray for anyone at the moment.
Has he just got a new contract, is that? You know everything. I heard the rumour.
Here's an opportunity now on the edge of the penalty area. And now it's cleared away by Vinagre. And Stoke were trying to build, and now Seri, who has just been that continuity player every decent team needs in the Championship, gets it and gives it. And Vinagre finds Morton. And basically Seri is anchoring midfield on his own, and he's pushing everybody else forward, so Hull always have options on the break. Here is Philogene again. Back in field to Morton, and now Seri. And both fullbacks are pushed forward for Hull as well. They have every single outfield player inside the Stoke City half here, and they're the away team.
Yeah, very good.
30 seconds of normal time to play in the first half, but now Vinagre goes back. They are utterly in control.
Yeah, very in control, and that early pressing from Stoke, that early sort of tempo has just been sucked out of them, hasn't it? And yes, Hull at the moment are very, very much in control, looking very comfortable. Seri's orchestrating things, he's disciplined, he never empties that midfield, that centre of the pitch, and he's always on the ball. You can see him talking, driving people on. Alex Neil will be desperate to get his team in for half-time.
And we have a minimum of 4 added minutes, and it's a long walk to the dressing rooms here at Stoke. They are in the far right corner as a long ball is played forward for Connolly to chase again. He looks to be okay now, Aaron Connolly.
Yeah, because it did look like he was it his quad, do you think it was? He was just looking at, and yeah, but he's moving a lot better. But there was a few times where I thought, oh, maybe, and he's moving a bit gingerly. So, but I'm sure they'll assess him at half-time, because they will not want to take risks with him, especially in a game when you're so in charge. You've got the likes of Delap on the bench. If he's not right, then they look to make that change. But yeah, he's definitely moving a lot better now.
And next up for Hull, they're at home to free-scoring Plymouth after putting 6 past Norwich yesterday. I think the Norwich fans have just about got home now.
Mate, it's a long trip anyway, right? But when you get done like that, it's
like Norwich to Plymouth. I mean, I think probably Plymouth to Sunderland's only the longest trip in the Championship this season.
Yeah. I always remember we played Plymouth first game of the season. You just wanted to get it out of the way, get it done. But Schumacher though has done an amazing job. It's such an intimidating place. He's got that place rocking. They're brilliant at home.
It's a great place to watch football.
Yeah, it's top.
And then Hull go to Ipswich, which could be a very interesting game if things continue as they are. And we cover Ipswich in the Carabao Cup coming up on TalkSport 2 on Tuesday night. They're at home to Wolves. That game is not on UK TV. TalkSport will have Manchester United against Crystal Palace, and then on Wednesday, Brentford against Arsenal on TalkSport, and Liverpool against Leicester will be on TalkSport 2. They always seem to draw each other in the Carabao Cup. Now Slater coming forward now for Hull again, wide to this near side, and Vinagre, and he will take on Gooch, and he goes to the byline, and the cross is closed down by Gooch at the expense of a corner, and Stoke can't afford to concede another one here with 2 minutes of added time to play in the first half.
If Hull got one more now, then you really would just say game over. They say the Hull players will be looking forward to going to that tunnel. They're going to get a right ovation off their fans. As for Stoke, though, they just look like there's no one who's going to give him that boost. You can't see anyone who's trying to say, look, you get me on the ball, or they need maybe that really experienced one in there. Sometimes when we had the likes of Incy and Dennis, ones like that, Dennis Irwin, who would help you in these situations.
Corner kick from Morton, high to the far post, it's nodded down and cleared off the line. It was Connolly's header, and it was cleared off the line by Johnson. Travers was nowhere, and it was almost a third for Hull, but they're still pushing here. Christie inside the penalty area on his unfamiliar left-hand side, and now Seri will go all the way back to the halfway line, and Vinagre, and that should have been 3-0.
Yeah, really good header from Connolly, back across into the ground. Travers no chance, and that, if that had gone in, massive moment.
I think there'd have been some Stoke fans not coming back.
Yep, I agree.
Now Greaves on the halfway line. Muted appeals for handball from the supporters, and it's back to Ryan Alsop. He is the away goalkeeper, and he has had so little to do.
One free kick that I might still even save now.
Oh, steady on. Now Seri's made a mistake, and he's hauled down Laurent on the edge of the penalty area. There were players around him, but it might be a yellow card here for John Michael Seri, and that's the sort of error that could give Stoke a route back into this game.
Could give him a route back in, and that's where Liam Rossini will say, don't be complacent. You've been excellent. Seri, we've just been commenting on, complimenting him, how good he's been, making it tick, looking after the ball, and then that one moment, we've talked about it nearly 3-0, watching the replays now, and it's a great header. Travers no chance, massive moment, but now free kick, dangerous position. We talked about the other one being very tame, to be polite, but there's another chance, obviously to the left of goal this time, and both same players are over it.
It'll be Johnson or Vidigal to take this. Haksabanovic also expressing an interest, and it's Haksabanovic who curls it, and it's a brilliant save by Alsop, plunging away to his right hand side to turn the ball aside, and that's half time. The second half about to get underway here on TalkSport 2. Hull City leading Stoke City by 2-0, and it's the Tigers wearing all amber today, defending the goal away to our left, who kick off once again. Matt Murray, the former Wolverhampton Wanderers goalkeeper, is alongside me. And what do you think Alex Neil will have been saying at half time?
Get back to the energy levels, press them, be organised, but be brave out there. You're going to have to be brave, and you want to come and play for a big club with big expectations. You've got to want to get on the ball and just take your chances, and let's leave it all out there. If you're going to lose, leave it all out there and try and just show some sort of confidence. And if we get that first goal, game on.
And the rain is now sweeping across the Bet365 stadium. There is a very strong wind which is blowing from right to left, so Stoke City have it at their backs in the second half, as Wesley, one of two players who came on during the first half, plays the cross in towards the near post, looking for Vidigal, who was the other, and it's claimed by Ryan Alsop, who made a really good save to deny Haksabanovic with the final kick of the first half. So the Stoke team again is Mark Travers in goal, three central defenders, Luke McNally, Michael Rose and Ben Wilmot. Lyndon Gooch and Daniel Johnson are the wing backs. Jordan Thompson is anchoring midfield. Josh Laurent is also in there with him now, with three in attack really. The players who've made way are Wouter Berger and Tyrese Campbell, and it's Henri Vidigal, Sead Haksabanovic and Wesley in attack. The whole team, Alsop in goal, A back four, Christie, Jones, Greaves and Vinagre. Morton and Seri anchoring in midfield. Traore, Slater, Philogene behind Connolly. And Connolly and Traore were the 2 goal scorers. 2 goals in 2 minutes just after the half hour. Stoke try and build on the far side, but slithering towards the byline on his backside is Lyndon Gooch, and it's played away by Hull City, and they eventually go all the way back to Allsop, and they've been very confident to play the ball out from very deep inside their own 6-yard area, and they do so now. But Wesley closes down Cyrus Christie. It will be a Hull throw-in, but the home crowd at least appreciating a moment of endeavour from the team in red and white stripes.
Well, yeah, go and work hard. And that's what these sort of fans, when you're from these sort of areas, I played for Wolves. Wolves was a working class area. They wanted to see the players get in and show that fight. Stoke's that same sort of, demographic, is that the word to use? And and get after people. But it's really good. What Hull do is they are brave at the back. That's why they signed Ryan Allsop, because he's very good in possession. His nickname's Rocky Dino. That's what he was known as. And he builds from the back. But what I thought Hull did in the first half was they played. Yes, they took some risks, nearly got caught a few times, but then they weren't scared to go over the press. And when they got over the press a good few times, and then they kept Stoke guessing, and that's where I thought they got the joy. But you can definitely see that Stoke have come out fired up, a bit of reinvigorated, if you like, and Alex Neil's saying, just go and get after this team. I don't want any more Olays from the away fans, and just when they're popping it about.
A win for Hull, and they would go up to 4th place in the table, 5 points behind Preston, but that could be only a brief experience, because Sunderland play Cardiff at 3 o'clock. We also have that game live for you on TalkSport 2 with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern. As Haksabanovic wide on the far side, the right for Stoke, finding Vidigal, infield again to Johnson, but Traore comes back to win it cleanly for Hull, and then Slater has been fouled in the midfield area by Thompson, and it will be a free kick for Hull City, and their supporters away to our right hand side enjoying their afternoon. It's been a very good away day so far in the rain. 4 minutes into the second half, and it's Stoke 0, Hull 2. The North London derby coming up at 2 o'clock. There'll be updates over on TalkSport. 2 changes for Arsenal after that 4-0 win against PSV. Leandro Trossard is out for Arsenal due to a slight muscle issue. Eddie Nketiah replaces him, and Fabio Vieira is in for Kai Havertz. 1 change for Spurs. Brennan Johnson starts ahead of Manor Solomon. Big day for Johnson.
Big day, good player, and very interesting. Still David Raya in goal for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Say no more. He's the number 1 there.
Well, interesting at Hull, Matt Ingram played the opening 6 games of the season, and now he's been displaced by Allsop in the midst of a good run.
Yeah, and Ingram is a fantastic goalkeeper, very, very solid, but you can see that Liam Messina wants to build from the back, and if you're going to build from the back, you need a goalkeeper who's elite in possession, and Ingram's steady in possession, but Ryan Allsop is elite. And it was a big part of the play of Derby County when Liam Messina and Wayne Rooney were there, and you can see that he's a player that has been identified by Messina.
Now Philogene coming forward for Hull. The cross into the penalty area spirals high off Wilmot, and it goes behind for Hull's first corner in the second half. The crowd here today, 21,142. 867 have made the journey from Humberside or wherever to watch Hull City.
Going back to the goalkeepers, Darlow did well, didn't he, last year for these on loan?
Yeah.
And so as much as Ingram, he's been great and he's been a good servant, I bet he feels like he's never fully got, believed in as that number 1 here.
And Darlow is now on the bench for Leeds. Ingram with the corner into the near post, and it's flicked on, and then rising was Connolly, unable to get his head on that, but Hull do have it back again on the far side. Slater all the way back to Vinagre, and now Morton again high over the top looking for Philogene. Philogene gave that up, and the ball then caught in the wind and died, and if he kept on running he may have got it.
Yeah, because when I thought it was initially hit, I thought, it's going straight through to Travers, but the wind is crazy, and again, it's not about my time, but when you played here, it is one of the maddest wins you've ever experienced in it, because a lot of times in senior football it doesn't affect you. Here it does. That corner is open, and and the wind just comes whistling through. The corner above the tunnel, so open.
And the corner on the far side used to be open, and when it was, goodness me.
Yeah, well, that's when I was there. It was like, I mean it. People used to shoot from 30-odd yards, and it really affected you. So, yeah, that will be something that Philogene will note for the next time, thinking, I'm not giving that ball up.
It's played forward now by Daniel Johnson, but it's briefly given away by Hull, but then they win it back. Here is Traore again, and they're knocking the ball around here with real purpose. Hull City further wide to the far side, and they've got 4 waiting for the cross inside the penalty area. Now Ingram wide again towards the far side, and then back in field to Jones, and they have strung 15 passes here, and Stoke have not laid a glove on them. Maybe now, but Philogene is surely fouled by Johnson, because Johnson had hold of him around his waist, and the free kick's been given. And it's another opportunity for Hull to load the penalty area.
And for any young players here watching, Seri and Morton check their shoulders so much. They're always checking the shoulders, knowing, making little angles, readjusting, and just use that ball. They're key to Hull dominating this ball and always being options and like a sort of pivot for this Hull side.
They've done it very well so far, and they're coming forward again on the far side. Slater infield towards Seri and Connolly scoops it forward, and I'm not sure whether that was a shot or a cross, but in the end it just bobbles beyond the far post and out of play for a goal kick. And you can hear the wind on our microphones here now. It is blowing a proper Stoke gale.
Yesterday was beautiful as well. The weather was so nice yesterday, and then today the conditions are very, very difficult. Surface still looks absolutely fantastic, but you've got to keep the ball down because the wind's playing that part. But going back to those midfielders for Hull, they're disciplined as well. They recognise when one can push on a bit, the other sits, but they never ever between them empty that midfield, and that's something that a lot of managers are very, very insistent on. Do not empty the midfield in or out of possession.
It's been a very disciplined performance from Hull as well in the main. Stoke have just let themselves down on 1 or 2 occasions, and it's really cost them. But here is Wilmot coming forward now. 54 minutes played. Stoke 0, Hull 2 on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Sunderland against Cardiff coming up at 3 o'clock. NFL is back as well on TalkSport 2 at 5. The Patriots against the Jets is the centrepiece of the programme as it's scooped forward by Gooch towards the far side. That's a heavy challenge, and that will be a yellow card at least. Shown by Thomas Bramall. No complaint at all from Jacob Greaves, because he absolutely took out the Stoke player on the far side, Haksabanovic, and it's a good job his studs were down, because had they been raised, I think it could have been red. In fact, looking at the replay, they were raised, and he's very lucky.
He's lucky. I'd say that's an orange. If he'd have got a red there, you probably wouldn't have complained. I think, as you say, it's just because it's lower, isn't it? If his leg was up a little bit more, but his studs are there, but I think because he's made the contact so low, and thankfully there's no injury either to Haksabanovic, but yeah, but they're the moments as well. Suddenly, in control, red card, captain's off, could change the game, but I think the ref just about got that right.
Gooch will swirl in the free kick towards the near post, but it's cleared away by Traore and then just hammered upfield by Connolly, and yet again another Stoke City set piece doesn't go beyond the first man.
Yeah, really, really poor. Great opportunity, deliver it, you got your big boys up, poor delivery.
Gooch again on the far side, and he will try and take on Slater. And the cross is deflected behind off Slater, and it will be a Stoke corner. They're 2-0 down, 11 minutes into the second half.
And they'll need to deliver this one properly. Their balls in have been really, really poor.
It's played short on this occasion, back to Haksabanovic, and further back to Gooch. Gooch has got options, goes back to Haksabanovic, who cuts in field, high cross into the penalty area. Wesley with the header, and it's straight at Allsop, but it was a chance.
Definite chance in the middle of the goal, within the width of the goal, 6 yards out, but he's just stretching for it. They work it well, and good bit of skill from Haksabanovic, and in swinging cross. He's had to direct the he's had to put the pace on it as well as direct it, and then his teammate as well, isn't it, getting in the way. Is that Rose? Yeah. But better from Stoke. At least they've got a ball in the box and got a contact on it.
Now Jones brings it forward, player who came through the academy at Southampton. Traore and Laurent taking him down from behind, and that is always going to be a free kick.
Yeah, and just relieves the pressure, and you don't need to foul there. Just stay behind them, jockey. But you don't need to foul. But again, they've bought the free kick, won the free kick, and they'll just take their time over it. They were stopping this.
Well, before this game, Hull had their most points after 7 games since their last 2 promotion seasons to the Premier League. And they're going to improve on that here, it seems, unless we have a dramatic comeback, which does not look to be in the offing at the moment. Now Seri. Stoke are playing with a strong wind in their favour. The rain is also blowing into the faces of the Hull City players, but they are playing much more constructively as Philogene almost skips away from Haksabanovic, and then there was a shirt pull there on Philogene. Not from Haksabanovic, I think it was from Wilmot, and it will be a free kick for Hull.
I like Philogene. I watched him last season, I liked him, and I was wondering, would one of the newly promoted sides maybe have a little look at him? But I think he'll be again one that, like a Chong who's gone to Luton, you could see in time a Premier League side coming for him.
Well, he's only young.
Yeah. Didn't it really happen at Aston Villa for him, did he?
21 years of age, came through that great academy at Villa where so many young players have done well in recent years. Not necessarily at Villa, but they've moved on to have good careers, often in the Championship. It's possibly because he was playing for a struggling team last season, and maybe he was slightly under the radar at Cardiff.
I watched him at Blackpool away, and he was outstanding. Really, really good. But Johnson came through at Aston Villa.
But it was windy there.
Oh, it always is, yeah. But say Daniel Johnson came through at Aston Villa, and then the likes of Ramsey, Archer. That the Ramsey and Archer move. I thought, but as you say, Middlesbrough firing that little bit higher. But I think Philogene Bidace, if he keeps playing at these levels, he's really, really got something for me.
Well, Hull are clearly moving in the right direction. They had a crowd of over 24,000 for the game against Leeds on Wednesday. Of course, Leeds will have taken their numbers as well. The biggest crowd for a Hull City home game since a 2-0 win over Liverpool back in February of 2017.
Oh, wow. That does really show them that they're reconnecting. And it's important that you connect with your fan base and get that on. But he just mentioned there, Leeds United in the Championship.
Well, they've been here before.
Yeah, with their expectation levels. Leicester City, Southampton.
Well, we had them last week on TalkSport 2 at Millwall, and they were very good. And they look to be another Daniel Farke side who's maybe not had a great start, but they're gradually building momentum.
Well, that transition, like Alex Neil's had to change players. Obviously, Farke's not had any time with that team before, but he's changed his players. He had players who are refusing to play, but if they get their fans on side as well. But what it is they got to raise their game because they're everybody's cup final.
Haksabanovic chasing another lost cause on this near side. The ball goes straight out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Hull City. An hour played here at the Bet365 on TalkSport 2. Stoke City 0, Hull City 2, the latest score.
Concerning, isn't it, for Stoke? They've had that one free kick, really, apart from that, the header that's stretching. But they spent all that money, all these signings, but they just... they look really, really lacklustre at the moment.
Liam Delap is about to come on for Hull City.
Alex Neil's frustration down there.
Well, they're giving the ball away again, Stoke, and here comes Philogene. Forward up towards the edge of the penalty area for Hull. Tries to thread it through. It breaks to Connolly. Connolly, though, just seemed to lose his footing at the crucial moment. Stoke clear. Morton tries to scoop it wide to the far side. Gooch has lost it. Here is Vinagre now, bursting into the penalty area down the left, low into the near post. Connolly with a challenge, and in the end it's gone behind off him, and it will be a goal kick. But again, we get the boos from the home crowd because Hull City, every time they go forward, look dangerous. Every time Stoke go forward, they look limp.
Do you think some of that as well? They wanted to see a stronger challenge there and try and win the ball. But Alex Neil's frustration when Hull were building from the back and they got the press wrong, you could see him turn away, throwing his arms up. Look again, arms up, frustrated that they've been able to get out from the corner there. He wants more from his team.
Adama Traore tries to take a piggyback there on Josh Lauren, concedes the free kick. Now Haksabanovic. And it's worked wide by McNally towards the far side. Gooch will try and come forward again now and attack the penalty area, and he's quickly closed down by Slater, and it will be a corner kick. And this is a Stoke team which brought in 6 attacking players during the transfer window. I know they did lose some attacking intent themselves going the other way, but 6 attacking midfielders or strikers, and they're not offering anything.
No, not at all. And Alex Neil's teams, you usually see them create and play and get forward and get bodies in the box, but they've not looked a threat at all.
Corner into the near post, and it's headed behind, and it will be another corner. It was Vanagra who was on the end of it.
I've got 8 corners for Stoke, I don't know, but I'm just this hard in this game. And
how many of them have found a Stoke City head?
Yeah, I can't think of any first contacts. Have been really poor.
Haksabanovic with another corner in towards the near post. It's cleared away by Jones. It drops to Thompson, who plays it wide to this near side, and Vidigal onto the head of Wesley, but it's jabbed clear by Morton, nodded back by Gooch wide to the far side. A good header to find Haksabanovic, who comes in field, finding Gooch again. It's all very compressed for Stoke. Gooch with the cross in. It's headed away towards this near side by Jones. Jones, I think, was appealing for offside there, but it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, but to be fair to Hull, they're organised, they're getting the first contacts, but then when they're getting up, they squeeze the box, they get up, they pick up. Very, very well drilled. Good in possession, but look good out possession too.
Vidigal will take the corner kick. Low into the near post. It's flicked on, but then flicked away by Jones. Traore will look to try and find Philogene. He goes scrambling under the challenge of Johnson, but no free kicks being given. Johnson wide to this near side, where it's headed away by Christie, and this will be the double change, and it's Connolly who is coming off for Hull, and Liam Delap will be coming on, son of Rory, Stoke City legend, played here on loan last season. Of course, Manchester City are his parent club, and he will be coming on along with Scott Twine, who was on loan from Burnley.
I liked him in the MK. Was it the MK Dons promote? Was it MK?
The team that didn't get promoted? Yeah, they lost to Wickham in the playoffs.
That was it. Yeah, but he's set pieces, scoring free kicks, and then he's a good player.
And the other goal scorer, Adama Traore, also comes off.
He's been good.
Yeah, Scott Twine scored 20 times for MK Dons in the 2021-22 season. Only got 3 for Burnley. After making the move there, he was Vincent Kompany's first signing, but he was often on the bench. Yeah. Now Thompson. Now Vidigal with a back heel to find Haksabanovic. Back towards Vidigal again inside the penalty area. The shot from Thompson is blocked, but it breaks to Wesley. A brilliant save by Allsop again. Wesley with real power on the turn. Allsop saw it late, but palmed it to safety.
Wow, what a save. Big moments. So Wesley does really well here. I think he uses his strength well to just ease off the defender. He swivels. If it's hard and low, maybe, but, I think you just have to credit the goalkeeper there. He's gone for power, good strong hand from close range, really, really big moment, big save.
Haksabanovic will take the corner kick in towards the near post. It's headed away, and then Philogene will try and bring the ball clear, but Johnson with a crucial challenge, really, because had he not made it, Philogene with Twine in support would have been clear.
Yeah, and just these fine lines, but that from Ryan Allsop, we said the next goal in this game is huge, and the way Wesley just turns, and he won't feel he's done a lot wrong there, and he swivels, but he was excellent against Leeds. You called it, he made some big saves, and I think that's his best one-handed save. Disappointed to have been left out and let go from Cardiff, but he's come here and proved why he's keeping a very, very good goalkeeper, Matt Ingram, out of the side.
11 clean sheets at Cardiff last season in a struggling team. And He's heading for his second clean sheet in 2 games for Hull. 66 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Stoke 0, Hull 2. And this will be 7 points in 8 games for Stoke City. Only 7 goals scored. They had home wins here against Rotherham and Watford, and 3 successive defeats before that 2-2 draw against Huddersfield. And if they don't score here, it is 3 goals in 7 games. And okay, Campbell's gone off injured. That's a blow. But
that happens, doesn't it? Yeah. It was a disappointing, but he's had these players in.
They've signed so many attacking players, and they try to fit them all into the team, and they're not scoring.
No. So it's work on the training ground, it's looking at things. But yeah, if they don't score again, you have to score goals. Of course you want to be strong defensively, but you've got to score goals. You've got to bring that in. And at the moment, that was a big chance, but they haven't showed enough. And in front of your home fans as well, you've got to perform.
Now Thompson in towards Haksabanovic, laid off to Vidigal down the left. High cross in, looking for Wesley. It's a downward header from him. Really needed somebody inside to try and cushion the header down to. And it's a comfortable claim for Allsop.
Yeah, I've not seen many goalies do that before. Control it with their thigh on their goal line when it's headed goalwards. You get that wrong, you can get a serious egg on your face. But yeah, he's in a confident mood, Ryan Allsop.
Wouldn't have done that in your day.
No chance, not with my touch as well. And my skinny thighs.
Now a good turn from Delap, charging right down the centre. And Delap continuing here, all the way into the penalty area, and the shot left-footed spins away off a challenger behind for a corner. And what a goal that would have been from Liam Delap, and that would have been a goal with some meaning for him.
It would have been an amazing goal, and in a way though, I think when you're in these positions you have to score, because I felt that he could have just laid it off a couple of times. But to be fair play to him, young man, confident, the power he showed then, to turn, but then the way he drove with the ball, carrying it. I thought maybe he was going to slip someone in, but very, very positive start from the substitute against his former club.
And his dad's former club as well. Corners played short to Philogene down the left. He maybe thinks about the shot, and he fires in the shot, which pings off ahead behind for another corner.
Good play. He's really positive, isn't he? He gets the ball, he drives at people, gets a shot in, and another day that takes a nick and maybe wrong foots the goalkeeper. But it feels like they had a little bit of pressure, Stoke, but Hull will think they've maybe weathered that.
They've had the pressure, you think they might score. When you see Hull go forward, you think they should score.
Yeah. And that is the difference, the real intensity, that the options off the ball, the runners, the pace they attack with. Yeah, they do look more of a threat. That belief, they look like they have that belief.
Morton with the corner, out swinging high to the far post. Challenging for it was Greaves, but it's over his head. And Stoke will try and bring it clear, but Seri wins it back from Vidigal, and here is Vinagre coming forward now. He's got support on his outside, but he hits the byline, delivers the cross into the penalty area, controlled by Philogene, and he's just unable to bring the ball down and squeeze in the shot. It's behind for a goal kick, but it was almost a third for Hull.
Yeah, almost a third. Interesting one here. I mean, Philogene's seen it late. Really good play down the left-hand side for Hull. Good play, good positive. Is that Vinagre? Yeah, puts the ball across. But yeah, I don't know about what you think, Nigel. I don't know if you've seen it late, but headed it, yeah. I just thought head it back across. And when I saw it, my initial thought, why have you brought that down? And watching it again there, head it back across where it's come from, and I think you score.
20 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Stoke 0, Hull 2. And we have Sunderland against Cardiff coming up at 3 o'clock with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern. And tomorrow night, Coventry against Huddersfield, with Ian Danter and David Nugent, before 2 nights of Carabao Cup action across the TalkSport network. On TalkSport 2 on Tuesday, Ipswich against Wolves with Jim Proudfoot and Matt Holland. And then on TalkSport, Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and Andy Townsend will bring you Manchester United against Crystal Palace. United the holders, of course. Then on Wednesday night, Brentford against Arsenal, live on TalkSport with Jim and Scott Minto. And then Liverpool against Leicester will be on TalkSport 2 with Sam and Mickey Gray.
I hope Matt Holland's nice and neutral.
He's always neutral at Portman Road. I've done Ipswich games with him. I've done Ipswich Norwich with him, and he's been, almost neutral.
Almost.
No, he's a top man.
No, he's brilliant. Scored a good free kick past me for Ipswich there.
I bet he talks about it.
What a nice guy, though. But that'll be a tough evening. Sorry, for Wolves.
Oh, definitely. Now Vinagre coming forward wide on the far side. 19 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Hull leading by 2-0. Seri almost threads it into the penalty area. It's cleared as far as Christie. The rain has stopped here, but the dark clouds are still banking on the far side, and the wind is still strong. Here is Philogene. Hull playing into the wind. Vinagre with the cross in, looking for Delap, but it's just wide. He got there at the near post before Wilmot, and the touch inches wide.
And he wants a corner, doesn't he? But I thought Vinagre's delivery was excellent. And the way that Delap holds the space and then goes, he believes it was deflected wide, but good movement, good ball, and you keep saying it every time Hull go forward. They do look so dangerous.
Well, the home crowd have had enough.
Gone back to just passive. They're just knocking the ball about, and Hull are building at will. So from Liam Rossini's point of view, he will be absolutely delighted. His side showed a bit of everything. Quality on the ball. The Olays are coming again from the away fans, but they've also, keepers made save, got blocks in. They've been really good.
Tyler Morton coming forward now, and he's got options left and right. It's hammered in by Slater. Oh, what a goal by Regan Slater, and that settles it. And the Stoke City supporters really turned on their team. Regan Slater from long range maybe took a deflection, but it ballooned high above Mark Travers, and Hull City put in another very impressive performance, another very impressive away success, but the home crowd are leaving in their droves as the pressure builds on Alex Neil. Stoke 0, Hull 3.
As you say, I think the bit that will hurt Alex Neil the most, we just said how passive Stoke looked. They have built with built with ease, just doing whatever they wanted, and it did. The way it goes into that top corner, he takes a nick, loops in, wrong foots Travers. Travers will be thinking, I've let 3 goals in, there's nothing I can do. But no one really closing Slater down with any purpose there. But the way they bopped it from the back, the Olays from the crowd. So, yeah, I can see why the Stoke fans are leaving. And this is not what they expect. Of course, everybody loses, but there's a way to lose. And you've got to show that passion.
At home?
Yeah. That passion, honestly, they're passing and we're just walking, Stoke. No one's getting close to them. You've got players here who've come on a sub, they're fresh legs. Go and get into someone. Go and take a booking if you need to. Far too passive. And look, not a booking like that, by the way, where it's just a...
Michael Rose has been booked for pulling back Scott's wine.
That's easy. That's just lazy. Without... I sound like I'm being disrespectful here, but we've all been there. We've been out there. It's difficult. It's tough. But that's where there needs to be somebody, that character in that Stoke team who's just going to go and lift them and get after them and just want to get on the ball. But yeah, I think Hull, though, take nothing away from them. It's been a very, very good performance from Liam Rossini's men.
There's no Shawcross, there's no Fuller. They were very good players at a high level, but there's nobody who was a talisman.
Yeah, I'm not looking at anyone here and thinking, yeah, you're going to give us that lift, that spark, as you say. Shawcross, you knew what he was about, and yeah, I agree. You've got to sign certain characters that give you that. Maybe Pearson, if he was out there, would have done that.
Crossed in by Vinagre and claimed by Travers. 15 minutes to play. Hull City leading by 3-0. They've not won here since a 3-0 win in January of 2006. 11 games without a win at this stadium. Stoke had won 8 of the previous 11, including 4 of the last 5, but that record has been blown apart here today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that stat coming in, and it did. But yeah.
Well, the last time Hull beat Stoke, Jarrod Bowen was the match winner.
Good player.
December of 2019. But the home crowd here are leaving, and those who are staying, you can imagine, will be letting Alex Neil know they're not happy at the full-time whistle.
It is concerning. I don't look. It's one game that I've seen them live, but looking at the stats, looking at his performance, I'm not sure what's going to change.
Well, they've got an opportunity here, and they've got a goal back. Andre Vidigal striding through on the edge of the penalty area, and he fires it low beyond Allsop. And those Stoke fans who are still here do have a goal to cheer. Hull's lead has been trimmed to 3-1.
Yeah, but Liam Rossini will be very disappointed that they've lost a clean sheet. From Alex Neil's point of view, you know, it's a good finish from Vidigal, the substitute, but it's, you know, he's sort of a bit fortunate where it breaks through, but then take nothing away from the finish. Hard and low into the bottom corner. Fantastic finish. There's going to have to be something good to beat Ryan Allsop this afternoon. Good goal. Lifeline, as they say. Let's see if this can lift them and get them back into it. But all in all, they haven't been great this afternoon, but that's a very, very good finish from the substitute.
13 minutes to play. Stoke 1, Hull 3. And at least it's given the home crowd a moment of positivity to feed off, and they do have a free kick now because Seri, the player, has been penalised for a challenge on the far side, and it's an opportunity for Haksabanovic to get this in. If they score now, it's game on.
Well, Hull got 2 goals in the first half in quick succession, and Rich really changed the game. And yeah, we all say goals change games. If they're going to score one now, then definitely suddenly from looking very comfortable for Hull could be difficult. So big moment. They've got to get this set piece right.
Vidigal has now scored 4 league goals this season, all at home. Haksabanovic with the free kick, high towards the far post. It's nodded down inside the penalty area, and in the end it's scrambled to safety. The defending wasn't convincing, but Hull got the job done. Vanagra losing out to Johnson. A high ball in. McNally allows the ball to run. Here is Gooch. Maybe he got the call. Haksabanovic on his outside down the right. Now McNally, the central defender, didn't seem to want the ball in that position. Finds Gooch again. And now Thompson comes in field, 30 yards out, he lets fly, but it was optimistic and it's over the top.
Yeah, I think that's a strange decision. You've got a lot of the big guns up from the set piece before, so they're up, they're around. Keep working the box, probing, you know, trying to find it to get the cross in and maybe you know, get an attempt at goal. Where that decision, high, wide, and that just takes the sting out of things a little. But better from Stoke. Definitely a good reaction. Got the goal and then look positive again.
Haksabanovic is coming off, and Bae Joo Ho, the young South Korean, is coming on. And the other player who makes way is Daniel Johnson, and Ryan May, the Moroccan international, signed from Owens Farris. In fact, my apologies, it's Kiana Herver who has come on to replace him. And it's still 3-1 to Hull, and time is running out here for the home side to belatedly make a game of this. Now Gooch is on the left because Herver has come on the right, looking for Bay, and Bay will do well to keep the ball in play, but he was outnumbered, and it's a throw-in to Hull on the far side, and 1 or 2 Hull supporters have taken their tops off. It's a bit of a chilly day for that.
Chilly, windy.
But they are from Hull, I suppose. So
probably summer's day for
temperatures. Yeah. I mean, it's middle of September, and it's already feeling like early winter.
I say it's my hands. I've got my big coat on.
You've got the old gooses out for the winter. Sean McLaughlin is coming on now for Hull, and he will replace Ruben Vanagra.
Vanagra's been good. I think he got forward well, and so he started at Wolves is when he first came on the scene for me. You know, with English football.
Went to Everton.
Yeah, didn't play, did he? Didn't play. He's taken a step back to the Championship, and I thought every time he's gone forward, I thought he grew into the game, and then he looked a real threat and put some quality balls in.
But it's a throw-in on this near side for Hull, who lead by 3-1 on TalkSport 2. We have Sunderland against Cardiff coming up at 3 o'clock. The Sunday session with Sam Matterface is underway over on TalkSport, with all the goals as they go in from a busy day in the Premier League. The North London derby, of course, kicks off at 2 o'clock. And we now have bright sunshine here. at the Bet365, and we can see a stream of cars in the gap between the two stands away to our left, already leaving.
Probably listen to you, Nigel, seeing if we can get back into it.
If it gets to 3-2, of course they'll be doing a U-turn on the various roundabouts around the Bet365 stadium. Now Vidigal coming forward in towards Wesley inside the penalty area, and he went for goal at the near post. Maybe had better options inside, but it's a goal kick in the end, and we have 8 minutes to play.
Again, better play, good running from Wesley, plays on the shoulder, pointing where he wants it, but he's got to try and go back across Allsop if he's gonna get the shot in. At least get it where it's around the goalkeeper's feet. How often do you see them go hard and low for a goalkeeper? But again, more positive play, but he's still got that feeling it's a bit too little too late. But yeah, Hull just need to try and take the sting out of things and have that sustained possession again.
Now Greaves on the far side, and it's all the way back towards Allsop. He's made a couple of excellent saves. We've spoken about the general impotency of the performance from Stoke City as a long ball is forward on the far side looking for Delap, and Travers leaves his penalty area to clear. Twine will try and bring it forward on the far side, and it breaks now to Scott Twine, and he's got support on his outside, but in the end it's guided back by Herver towards Travers, who's had no chance with any of the goals.
But he's not actually, but then he's not made a big save, but he just could do nothing with the goals.
Now Gooch coming forward on this near side, back towards Wesley again as the wind picks up at the Bet365 stadium in the closing stages. 7 minutes to play. Stoke 1, Hull 3.
I was at a game yesterday, the 8-minute stoppage time. Not sure what they'll be here, but all the managers are talking about it now. You know, they're not preparing for 90 plus 3 or 4.
Herver chasing on the overlap on the right hand side, but the ball beats him out of play and it will be a goal kick. Yeah, the possession is pretty much 50-50. Stoke have had 10 shots, Hull have had 11. 6 of Stoke's on target, 4 for Hull.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that though, you know. It feels, I mean, Allsop obviously made the good save from the free kick, the good save from Wesley, but you still felt that
it's the conviction in possession,
what's the XG?
isn't it?
Have we got any XG on there?
I don't do XG.
Amazing how many managers do. But it's, yeah, that really say that conviction and getting into good areas. But the main thing is that both teams will care about is it's Stoke City 1, Hull 3.
Well, you would imagine the XG would be greater for Hull because they've had better chances.
Yeah, real clear cut. Yeah.
They've scored 3 goals for a start.
Yeah.
5.5 minutes to play, and they still lead 3-1 as there's a tactical tweak from Liam Rossigna as a high ball is played forward again, and Bay will try and control for Stoke, but Seri plays it forward. It holds up in the wind, and Hull have played very well into the wind.
Yeah.
They've just kept it on the ground.
Yeah, they're keeping it down and the options on the ball. But I still, the Slater one was a mad deflection, but it was the build-up in it was excellent. They do play some lovely football.
Now Philogene now coming forward down the right in towards the edge of the penalty area. Slater with the shot at the near post, and it's turned aside by Travers. Slater again popping up in a dangerous area, and this time Travers had the angles covered at the near post.
Yeah, I thought it was a good foot save. He said his angles are bang on, weren't they? It didn't look like there was much to aim for. We've got a really good view on that. But I thought good positive play from Slater. He's got that taste for it. Scored the 20-odd yard screamer with, yes, a little nick, but therefore he did everything right. Hard and low. Tried to squeeze it in at that near post, but credits Travers. That's he's picked the ball out of the net 3 times, but that is a big save, and keeping this team in it with that faint glimmer of hope.
Morton will take the corner in front of the Hull fans. It's drifted into the penalty area. Too much air on that on a windy day, and it's claimed by Travers, who quickly clears downfield. He's encouraging Bay to chase, and the clearance from Seri falls to Bay up towards Vidigal on the edge of the penalty area. He will try and turn, Jason Lekilo will be on shortly for Hull, the young Belgian. But Stoke are building here again. Bay, wide to this near side, and Wilmot. And here is McNally, and if there is to be a big finish from Stoke, they need to score fairly quickly. 3-1 down. And the run on the overlap now from Herver in towards the near post. McLaughlin on the stretch will concede the corner.
I think McLaughlin's done well since he's come on. He's got on the ball. He's there to try and shore it up. But there was really, really good positioning. Good positive play from Herver. But if Stoke do score now with probably the extra minutes, then wow, game on.
Corner whipped in towards the near post, headed away though by Jones. It'll drop to Gooch. In towards Herver, and now wide towards the far side again. And the cross is very deep. Vidigal is unmarked, brings it down superbly. Now needs some support inside the penalty area. It's offered by Bay. Bay comes in field. The cross is flicked on by a Hull City player, Delap. It breaks at the far post to Herver. The penalty area is so congested. Gooch with the cross in, but it's hacked away by Christie.
And then you can see this, McLaughlin saying to these Hull players, get up, why are we so deep? Get up after this ball, squeeze the pitch. Stoke are having a bit of pressure now.
Wide to the far side again, and Herver. A high cross in, which is overhit on the wind into the arms of Allsop.
Yeah, nice and easy for Allsop. It's a poor ball, that, really straight, and you got all those Stoke, red and white shirts in the box. Herver should be putting that ball into a dangerous area.
Well, the Stoke fans around us shaking their heads, having a chunter to their mates. It's been one of those days, but they're still here in the 89th minute. Allsop with the clearance. The wind now is as strong as it's been all day. Now Philogene brings it forward. He's got options left and right. Slater wants it, but Philogene goes for goal and throws his arms up because he knows that wasn't the best option.
Yeah, it was a poor option. Surely slipping Regan Slater there. And that's, a fourth goal would have, killed it off. Yeah, poor decision from Philogene there.
And John Michael Seri is coming off, and Jason Lekilo will come on. Born in Brussels. Most recently was Sparta Rotterdam in the Dutch Eredivisie. Came through the academy at Crystal Palace and now has his opportunity at Hull in the Championship.
You talked about Aston Villa producing players. Crystal Palace do as well, don't they? There's some good young...
And they sign very good young players.
Yeah, I like it. And again, it's an area that, seems to develop a certain sort of player. They're very exciting.
South London's a very fertile catchment area, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I love those young lads who come through at Palace. But yeah, he's using his bench. He's got some strength and depth for a senior, but I still feel that he'll believe that his team could have scored more goals this afternoon.
They scored 2 in 2 minutes, just after the half hour. And then the goal from Slater, quickly followed by the reply from Vidigal in the second half. But they've had the more clear-cut chances throughout the game. I know that Allsop's made one really good save in each half. As Wesley controls the ball on his backside on the edge of the penalty area. He wants a free kick, but nothing given. And now Lekilo, fresh legs from the bench, will bring it forward. He's nudged over by McNally on the halfway line, and it will be a free kick.
Good play, really good play. When you know that your team's not getting up the pitch quite as much as it should, had been, he's come on. The manager said that, just buys a free kick. Good positive play there.
We're into a minimum of 4 more minutes, and Alex Neil is maybe questioning that with James Liddington, the fourth official.
You don't often see that now, do you? With the substitutes and the little stoppages, it is usually longer than
there's not been too much time wasted because Hull have been in so much control they haven't had to.
Yeah, and it just feels like every game I'm at the moment is 7 minutes, is 8 minutes, and I do agree. Can't think of any real injuries or where Hull have overly time wasted, but it's just shocking nowadays.
Just for 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Whereas 2 years ago, we'd have been saying, we can't believe it's as long as 4 minutes, but times change. Christie plays it forward again. The ball floats gently on the wind onto the path of Philogene, but good defending by Wilmot to stoop in and head it back towards Travers.
It really is holding up, isn't it? Again, that looked like a straightish ball would carry through, but yeah, there would be no way that the goalkeeper could have cleaned that one up.
Alex Neil throws up his hands again as Vidigal is penalised for holding back Twine. And I would think there are probably maybe 12,000 Stoke fans still left in the stadium.
Yeah, that's a fair guess, yeah.
And their reaction at the end, I don't think will be too pretty for Alex Neil. You don't want to put managers under pressure, but the results are the results.
The results and the performance, and he'll feel that they've had little spells in this game, but this is not what he's used to seeing from his teams, whether he's at Norwich, Preston, Sunderland.
They've had Gary Rowett, Nathan Jones, Michael O'Neill and Alex Neil. Managers have all had success somewhere else. They come to Stoke and it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. But I think some of them had inherited a team and had to, didn't get as much as a clean slate, if you like. This is a lot of those players have gone now. Alex Neil's had last season with summer last season with this team. Then he's brought in 17, 18 players. So you've got to start looking a bit more of a threat, You've got to start looking at results.
Nobody signed more players in the top two divisions.
There you go. So, but at the same time, if you backed him with these things, I think he's a really good manager. I think he's a good person, good manager. Got to give him the time. There's no point in giving him all these players if you're not going to give him time. So certainly wouldn't say he should be under that sort of pressure, but he does need to start seeing more from his team soon.
Well, we have just over a minute of added time to play here, and the potential comeback has fizzled out from Stoke City, trailing by 3-1.
Yeah, they needed to get that second one much more quickly, but clever play from Liam Rossini as well. I think he's made substitutes that have helped with that. The lads have come on, helped, and his team have weathered that storm. I bet he's really, really happy with his whole team. I think they've been brilliant in and out of possession for him.
Well, there's an opportunity here for Gooch. Gooch turning towards this near side. And now Wilmot. And it's back to Thompson, and we have 30 seconds of normal time to play. Stoke finishing the game on the attack, but this will be another defeat. They're 5th in 8 games at the start of the season. The high cross in, Herbert takes a ride on Lokilo at the far post, and that will be a free kick, and that will be that.
Brilliant. And again, Lokilo, you can see he's been brought on to try and get his team up the pitch, but he's trapped back well. He's done his job at the back post. I think Cyrus Christie's gone about his work really well this afternoon as well. He's been solid. He's such an experienced campaigner. He's stopped, there. He wasn't easy for the cross to come in, and it's floated to the back post. And I think they've got a nice blend, a nice balance this whole side.
Well, more and more Stoke fans continue to head for the exits. None of the whole supporters are leaving. A third successive away victory for the first time in 10 years. That's it. And that reaction tells the story for Stoke City.